Hello and welcome to another week of the Shades of Red podcast. We've got Kraigen,
What's up?
Cam,
Yup.
Levi, and Reed.
Hey.
Hey. So, we're starting this podcast off with a recap of last week. Team,
Oh boy.
The upsets from last week. The teams that won that really shouldn't have won. Virginia Tech. Michigan probably should not have won.
Yeah, I blame the snow, but in all honesty, GG to Michigan. It's whatever.
I think the refs were trying to make up for the Michigan State game.
They're trying to fuck on Michigan State. On Michigan.
Oh, they admitted to messing up. They missed a bunch of calls in the Michigan State game, so they make up for it.
And they're up by 16 in the third quarter. They still probably should have won that game either way.
Yeah, but they didn't. So, what other game? I mean, there was Alabama Auburn, which ended up being close and going to how many overtimes? 1, 2,
4.
4. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Alabama won in the fourth.
Oklahoma
Win.
State beat Oklahoma. Not a shocker.
Yes, sir.
We can rally through that game.
Texas pulled on the upset and beat Kansas State.
Yeah, we'll see if they get the bowl now.
Did that for my pick'em league.
Reed's upset pick won. Iowa beat Nebraska. As a Nebraska fan.
I don't even remember who mine was. Oh, Boston College, Wake Forest.
Oh
yeah, that's right, because you wanted Wake to lose.
I was just unbiased. I mean, can we talk about the game of the week, NC State and UNC?
True.
It actually probably was the game of the week if you think about it.
It was a good game.
That game was wild.
It was. Yeah. That was a really wild game. Just scored twice in 26 seconds.
Dude, the stadium changed so much within that time. It was crazy. I mean, they're chanting Tar Heels and like talking shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, 26 game seconds later, it was completely different. Like they all left.
Wow.
Yeah. That's insane to change that quickly.
Yeah. I think there was like a stat like how a team has never lost like this season after being up like 10 with like a minute left in the quarter.
Yeah, so if it was 9+ with over 130 left, teams this season were 451-0.
Yeah.
But now it's 451-1.
Thanks, North Carolina.
You know what? We should talk about who's been the biggest disappointments as well, because North Carolina is definitely up there.
I mean, they were preseason ranked. Was it 9?
Yeah.
I think they were.
No, they were. Yeah.
With everything they lost, I don't think it was deserved, but we can say that easily now looking back on it.
If you want to talk about
factors in recruiting classes, and UNC brings in 5 stars, but
yeah, because they got Mac Brown and it's North Carolina also.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas is obviously going to be up there with disappointments.
Easily.
Yeah.
Hey, can we say Washington since they were ranked and they already lost to Montana?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a bad season. Disappointing for sure.
And the way they ended their season was pretty disrespectful as well, if you think about it. Their rivals smacked them on their own field, and then their fans rushed the field.
Planted the flag.
Did they even figure out who was going to pay the fine?
I didn't hear that, no. That was funny, though. They were trying to get us to pay the fine for them rushing the field.
I mean, technically, it is.
Technically, it is, yeah, but that would be hilarious if they made us pay.
Well, to be fair, Virginia Tech fans rushed UVA's field, and then on Wikipedia, changed the name from Scott Stadium to Lane Stadium North. And I believe, let me try to look it up right now. If you look up Scott Stadium, it actually pulls up Scott Stadium now. But on Saturday night, if you looked up Scott Stadium, it would pull up and say Lane Stadium North.
Nice.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was all over Twitter. But the Virginia Tech fans rushed the field, and there was an offensive line recruit at the game, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it was electric. You could feel the stadium shaking." And it's like, from everything I read, it was mostly Virginia Tech fans at the game.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
hilarious.
And it was at Virginia, you said, right? Yeah, Scott Stadium.
Yeah,
That's funny.
but
Yeah, big win for Virginia Tech to become bowl eligible.
yeah, it's a huge win. It's funny because it was one of UVA's best teams in years, and it was
I don't
one of
know about
Virginia Tech's worst
team.
teams in years.
I don't know if that's one of their best teams. I think that's probably the first year that they had an elite quarterback, so it made it look really good.
Yeah.
Bryce Perkins wasn't
They're-
bad, but he wasn't a very good. He wasn't.
I mean, shit. Brennan Armstrong was throwing over 400 yards in multiple games.
Oh yeah. Well, he
Yeah.
threw for over 300 in this one, I think, but still.
Yeah, he's had some unreal games. He's really good quarterback. He's looking like.
But we should have lost that game, but I don't know. I guess J.C. Price got him fired up. But we'll save the rest of the coaching talk for when we get to the coaching carousel.
Yeah. Speaking of bowl eligibility, Cam brought up as well. Off that tangent, LSU beat Texas A&M to become bowl eligible.
Yeah, surprisingly, actually, I did not think Texas A&M would lose that game, but they had to do it for Coach O. LSU
Yeah.
did.
That's right.
Yep. I feel like
Send him out with a win.
I feel like I said something about that last week, but I didn't pick them. But I feel like I said I thought they would win just because it's Coach O's last game.
Yeah.
You said something like that, I remember.
What was all of our upset picks again? I remember my ones to watch were Minnesota over Wisconsin, and there was another one, but I think my actual upset pick hit. I just don't know which one it was.
I said Boston College, and I'm pretty sure for a watch, I probably said LSU and Texas A&M.
I picked,
No, Cam, you said Minnesota.
Oh, then I think that was my one to watch because I think I didn't trust Minnesota to actually beat them.
I remember you saying something about Minnesota. Reed said. Oh
Reed
no,
said
Reed wasn't.
Reed said Iowa.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't here.
Somebody
that's what he said.
Somebody said North Texas over UTSA.
Probably Reed first one to watch.
Well,
He
Reed
didn't do
wasn't
one to
here,
watch.
but Reed didn't. Reed did not make that pick last week. Now
I feel like Kraigen probably said it.
That would be something I would have said, but I don't think I said it. No, it wasn't me. My game to watch was Florida State over Florida, which didn't happen, and then my opposite pick didn't happen either. Oregon State over Oregon.
Maybe I said it to myself.
Reed had Iowa over Nebraska.
And he hit.
He hit, and I had Virginia Tech over Virginia, and I hit.
Yeah. 2 for 2. Or 2 for 4.
The one week I didn't pick UTSA to lose just despite RJ Young. They lost just despite RJ Young.
Yeah,
Poor
UTA.
Poor UTSA got blown out by a 5-6 team.
Yeah, well, it happens. Were there any
Now,
other?
actually, we'll wait till we get to the conference championship games to talk about the matchup. But
Well, let's see here.
And we can do it now.
Yeah,
You
we
wanna
can
do
go
it
ahead
right
and
now?
slide into the conference championship since we're talking about last week. We can go ahead and slide on to what's coming up this week.
all right. Well, since we brought up UTSA first, we will talk about how they have to play a 8-4 high-powered Western Kentucky team who has a sneaky Heisman candidate, even though he's probably not going to New York, Bailey Zapp or Bailey Zappe. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It's Zappe.
Their quarterback.
He has 52 touchdowns already. And
God damn.
52-9.
Yeah. He could break Joe Burrow's. He can do better than Joe Burrow's season. And like less games. Which is amazing to think about. But no one's gonna say anything about him in the Heisman because, G5 school.
Yeah, and they're 8-4 too.
Yeah, it's a little harder.
Not gonna get much buzz at Western Kentucky, unfortunately.
I mean, he needs 6 to break Colt Brennan for second.
Yeah, 58 or 57. Did Colt Brennan have 58 or 57?
58.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Colt Brennan. All right. Well, are we gonna pick all the conference championship games this week? Who we think's gonna win? Who's gonna lose?
I mean, we could probably do like Power 5 and then like Cincinnati since that one like matters, but I don't really think any of us are gonna pick anything different from like San Diego State versus Utah State.
No, yeah,
Not gonna
that's fair.
thing.
Yeah.
All right, so
And then we probably won't do Pac-12 because that's not real football.
true. Where's the lie? No. But in the Pac-12, I do think Utah's gonna beat Oregon.
Yeah. They're favored too, so Vegas thinks so too.
I think Oregon's gonna win. I don't think
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Utah already beat him in the regular season 38-7.
Yeah.
Literally
Oregon
2 weeks
could-
ago.
I think, but I don't think it happens. I think
it's
Utah.
very, very hard to beat a team twice, especially in college football because it happens anyway. But I think Oregon will, adjust. I think they escape out with like a 3-point win, like a 27-24 type game. They'll be
It'll definitely be a closer game this time.
they're like a beat the run basically, and then Oregon will take back the Pac-12 that they never really lost.
See, I don't think you can use that game, their game that they played, because one, I mean, they were never going to lose in those uniforms. I mean, those uniforms that they had on probably gave them a 21-point advantage.
21-point buffer.
I mean, those were some of the most badass uniforms I've ever seen in my life. So,
Not again.
and now, I mean, it's not going to be in Utah. It's going to be neutral field.
Yeah, it's in Vegas. At the Raiders Stadium.
You're actually right. Those Utah uniforms were pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think Utah wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Utah.
Yeah.
Too.
Utah's winning that game.
I'm the only one picking Oregon to win.
Is
Yeah, because we
Thibodeau
don't know
playing?
who Oregon is.
Oh my god. Here we go.
Is Thibodeau playing?
On the Ducks, man. Oh,
Playing or not. I'd assume he is. The bowl game is what he might skip.
Sure.
I doubt he skips the conference game.
All right, moving on, because we all pretty much picked Utah, right? Except for Cam.
Mm-hmm.
He picked a team not even in the game.
once Oregon wins, that's the only way I'm going to be calling them from now on. You guys are going to have to accept their the Pac-12 overlords.
So if they lose, will you call them Oregon?
Yes.
Bet.
Are you lying?
No.
I feel like you are.
That's a lie.
First, if Oregon, I will call them Oregon for the rest of the podcast. Like
Wow.
every.
If Utah loses, you have to call them Utah.
Utah.
I don't know what messes up Utah's like pronunciation, so it wouldn't affect anyone.
Utah.
What about Baylor?
Nobody messes up Oregon either.
That's not true. You guys do all the time.
What?
No. All right. Since
Yeah.
we're
So that's
all
the Friday game.
since we're all in some sort of agreement here, Baylor and Oklahoma State.
You already
Oklahoma
know.
State, go Pokes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State. They
Oklahoma
make the
State.
playoffs interesting, I think.
Yeah, this is if they win,
They have to be in.
yeah,
If
they've got to
think
be
they-
in.
I mean, that's back-to-back top 10 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're 5 now. Yeah.
regardless if Cincinnati wins or not, Oklahoma State's got to be in if they win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, they'll even if Michigan, Bama, and Cincinnati wins. Yeah.
Even if Cincinnati wins, Oklahoma State has a bigger quality loss than Cincinnati.
Yeah. Bigger quality loss.
Yeah, that's how you get in.
I mean, y'all already. I've been high on Oklahoma State for a
Yeah.
while, so I hope
Yeah.
that they make it. That's like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got to them
They need
just
to
because
make
like I don't like Oklahoma, or if like it's just them, but like I'm on it. I'm on that train.
Yeah. Me
I don't
too.
blame you. I'd be on that train too.
Imagine a playoff of Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma State.
That Michigan
Yeah.
Cincinnati game will be must see.
We'll get to it later, but in that scenario, be thinking about who you put 3 and who you put 4.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on
Yeah.
if Alabama beats Georgia.
Yeah. If Alabama beats Georgia, I don't think Cincinnati might be out, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Georgia, Alabama. There we go. That's the next game.
Let's run through the other three because I feel like that's going to be a long discussion about who
You want to run through the? Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
want to
leave
go
that
like
one
Michigan,
as well.
Iowa. All right.
Yeah.
I want so badly for Iowa to win. So badly. But
I think it would.
a horrible
Me
off-
too, but it happens.
I think it would be the most Michigan thing to do to lose this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's Iowa. Like, if Wisconsin was in the Big Ten championship game, I'd have more faith in them because they have a better offense. Braylon Allen's a beast. But since they choked, I think Michigan's going to win by like 10. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know how Iowa contends with them, honestly.
I
they
would like
can-
to point out. I would like to point something out here that Iowa beat 2 a.m. by 7, and Michigan only beat 2 a.m. by 3. So
Nebraska QB legend, never forget.
True.
yes.
On
Yeah.
2 a.m. didn't play in that game
Which one?
against Iowa.
Yeah, Logan Smothers did.
Oh. 2 a.m.
Man,
was
that
still on the
kinda-
bench though. He's still there.
He's in
There.
the transfer portal now.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he was there in
Rattler to
presence.
Nebraska.
He's now a certified legend. It's not the legend is continuing. It's like boom, that's his career.
He's got to be number 2 wherever he goes.
Mm-hmm.
He could be
Yeah,
anything 1 to
I think
12.
Michigan wins.
Oh yeah, I think Michigan wins too.
Yeah.
Petrus, please make miracles happen, man. For an Ohio State fan, please make.
Dude, Petrus doesn't even average a touchdown a game.
You hear the slander. You hear the slander. Just go off, man. I need a career night from you.
Avengers.
A career night would be 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I'll probably get 3.
They can stop Haskins and Corum. They could keep it close.
All right. So we all think Michigan's going to win except for Cam thinks this is going to be Iowa.
Desperately needs Iowa to win. He
That's just
desperately
bias.
needs Spencer Petras to be a good quarterback.
Yes.
Iowa to win because I can't. I literally have not witnessed Michigan win a Big Ten title in my life. Like, I don't remember them winning it, and I'm not starting to do it now.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Pitt and Wake Forest. Game of the week.
That is going to be a very fun game. I don't know who's going to win that one.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a very offensive game.
Yeah, it will be. Just pick it for Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. by 3.
I'm gonna pick Wake Forest.
Levi, are you going to be at this
I
game?
think Pitt gets it.
What?
Are you going to be at this game?
No.
You have tickets.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Didn't you have tickets to the game?
No, mine were contingent on NC State making it.
Oh,
So I don't have tickets.
that sucks.
But honestly, if I could make it, I would because I think it's gonna be that good of a game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I think I don't know. It's not even like I don't even dislike Wake Forest. Like they're whatever to me.
Yeah,
I appreciate them, but I just think Pickett is gonna do really good.
Like eat their defense alive.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be more accurate, and he takes more deep chances. Not that Hartman doesn't take deep chances, but Pickett actively looks for it, and
I think
that's why he has more touchdowns and he's more accurate. He has less interceptions. He has a better completion percentage. I just think he's better.
I feel like
And
Pickett has a better receiving core out of the two.
I mean, not really. I just maybe you could say that, but a lot of the offense on both sides is who's fastest. And Wake Forest has fast receivers,
Yeah.
and so they can get by secondaries.
Well, Pitt's got the better secondary. Not to say
Yeah,
they're
and
good because they got absolutely torched by Tennessee, but Joe Milton couldn't complete a deep throw to save his life. But that was also week 2.
And I know Pitt's not great on defense. I'd say they're okay. I'd say they're above average.
They have a good defensive line, don't they?
But we've seen it. Wake Forest really, really struggles against good defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though they put 45 on State, watching the game, if you didn't know the score of the game, you would not have thought that they got 45. I mean, Hartman was 38% completion percentage or something.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't look like. I mean, it's just, and he threw 3 interceptions too, and he played not good at all against Clemson. And so,
Oh no, they played horrible against Clemson.
If they can get pressure on him, I think that they can get it. If they give Hartman time, he'll eat them alive, and it'll be a 80 to 75 or something game.
Yeah, it's up to Pitt's defense who wins, I think. If they show up, Pitt wins. If they don't, it's gonna be Wake.
I'm rooting for both of them. I like both of them. I know NC State fans won't agree with me on that one, but I really don't have anything against Wake Forest.
They've always both been kind of whatever teams because they've always been middle of the road ACC teams. I know Pitt made the ACC championship game a couple years ago, if not 2 years ago. But
that wasn't because they were good. That wasn't because everybody else was really that.
They were 8-4, yeah.
Yeah.
It was 8-4 Pitt versus Clemson.
Yeah.
I think Pitt wins. I don't care who wins. I just hope it's as good as a game as it's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, I think Pitt wins too. I couldn't give you a real good reason as to why. I'm just taking the better of the two defenses.
I think if you had any betting advice from me, I think y'all should bet on the over. I mean, it's only 71, and I think that's really low.
Oh yeah, that's low.
Yeah,
I think both teams hit the 40s.
Oh, easily. Yeah, they both hit 50, or it could be like a 55-49 game. Overtime.
Watch it be like 40-30.
Watch it be 10-3.
yeah.
If it's 10-3,
3-0 final.
or what's the Virginia Tech Wake Forest game where it was like 6-3 in double overtime or something.
Yeah, it originated from the Frank Beamer meme. End of regulation 0-0. He's got his hands in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game
0-0
ended 6-3, and I believe
overtime.
Wake Forest won that game. God, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna go now.
the only other game is number 21 Houston,
And
number
Cincinnati.
4 Cincy.
Well,
Let's go Houston.
I know. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, "If you're Houston, do you try to upset Cincinnati, and then try to just kind of play what do they call it?
What?
Spoil.
Kind of ruin her, I guess, just trying to ruin their season, and then you go out next year and you try to be the first G5 team to make the playoffs."
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally did something. I didn't see it, but I heard it.
They'll definitely.
You didn't think he was going to play?
I don't think they bend or they don't win or they don't try to win.
It's gonna be a good game, though. I think.
I hope it is. I mean, this is a
Yeah. Based on Cincinnati's game so far, like the Tulsa game and stuff, I think it definitely will be a good game.
statistically wise. These are
And he
really
loses.
close teams. They're both quarterbacks are over 3,000, or Ritter's at 3,000 exactly, and Tuna's 30-13. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for Tunes. 27 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for Ritter. McCaskill for Houston, 844 yards, 16 touchdowns. Ford for Cincinnati, 1,000 yards, 17 touchdowns. I mean, they're so close.
They are.
Really ruined your chance.
So I think they. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, it should be a good game.
The big thing is it's not neutral, so it's in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I will say they both played like shit against USF, though.
Yeah.
Cincinnati allowed less, but Houston scored more. Not by much.
And Houston's only loss, to be fair, is to Texas Tech. I mean,
In week
it's not
one.
against. They should have lost. They shouldn't have lost that game
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, it's not a great loss, but
It's still a Power 5 team, so it's not like they lost to
yeah.
like some G5 team.
Yeah, that's true.
But Cincinnati did beat Notre Dame, who is better than Texas Tech. I don't care
Yeah.
what you say, Joey.
I was gonna hold my tongue.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati wins this game, but I would love to see Houston win this game.
In all honesty,
Yeah.
That's my thought process too.
other than Oklahoma State, I could really love to see every single favorite not win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would be absolute anarchy.
Yeah.
That's
Just
how that's how Kansas still makes it. Give Lance Leopold his shot.
Hey, they beat preseason top 25 Texas.
That's true. They did beat Texas. And Texas is back, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know what I missed, but I know I didn't pick the ACC championship game. So I'm picking Wake Forest to win. And since you guys hate Cincinnati for some weird reason and want them to get killed, I'm rooting for Cincinnati to win
We did not.
Nobody
What?
said we wanted to get killed.
We all said
Oh my god.
wins, but Cincinnati.
Yeah, we literally all picked Cincinnati.
Well, you guys don't want Cincinnati to succeed in the playoff. I know that.
Oh, they
Yeah,
won
That's
anyway.
not true either.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
No.
Yeah. They're
I
wasting.
couldn't carry the way. Now, if they go up against Oklahoma State, it's over.
Oh yeah.
Wish on their death.
All
All
right.
right, game of the week.
By far, I believe it is the Georgia Alabama game.
All right, Kraigen, get it over with.
Yeah, Kraigen.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Alabama finds a way to get done.
Yep. There it is.
That's Nick Saban era. That's what happens.
They do have Georgia's number no matter what.
Okay, so I have a question.
Shoot.
Jamison Williams is suspended for the first half, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, do you think that will affect anything?
I do, yeah. We also only have 2 healthy running backs. So that'll be a big factor, too. If we can't get Brian Robinson going, we're going to be in trouble.
Especially against that Georgia D-line. Good Lord.
Yeah. If we
They
can't make
have-
him affect the run game at least a little bit, it's going to be a long night for Bryce Young.
Georgia has the fattest defensive lineman, and Alabama has the fattest offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Something has to give.
Whose blubber will go?
The unstoppable object versus the immovable wall.
I don't think it is, but
Oh, we're going to get eaten alive by their tight end, too.
Is that
We've been
Bowers?
bad against tight ends all year, and it's not going to be any better against, Georgia, who has one of the better tight ends in the country.
The good
I
news
tell you
is
what.
Huge mismatch, too, because he's
Tell
just
you
so.
what. As of right now, I'm trying to think of past tight ends in the draft class coming out. I like, and where they were drafted, and if OJ Howard was drafted like 14th. Fant was drafted like 9th. I mean, Bowers at this rate may be like a top 5 pick.
Pitts was top 10. Or maybe. What pick did
Pitt was-
Atlanta?
Kyle Pitts
They
is
have-
top 10, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as of right now, Bowers is like he's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, he's just.
If he keeps on this trajectory, he will be above Pitts by the time draft comes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're both just beasts and different kinds of beasts.
The good news is, for Alabama, UGA may have a really tough defense, but where they're strong in defense, they're a little lackluster in offense. Not saying they have a bad offense at all, but Bama's defense can handle their offense.
Yeah.
So if it's a low-scoring game, it's
Although,
really either way.
yeah, the defense has gotten better this year as the year has progressed. But I still don't really trust Eli Golding to put together a good game plan. Although we do have Will Anderson and some beasts behind him.
I mean, this game right here, most likely, this probably will determine the Heisman. If Bryce Young goes out and wins and has a good game, it's not even. I don't think it'll be close in the Heisman voting.
Yeah.
If he loses, I'm not sure he gets it.
Yeah.
if Alabama loses and Bryce Young plays horribly because he didn't play well at all against Auburn, even though he had the game-tying drive.
He
I
had the
think
game drive.
he's getting a lot of points just because he didn't play well, but he came up really clutch in that game.
Yeah. He had the
To
game
be fair,
tying drive.
To be
overtime and
fair.
then won.
Alabama's OC is Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, and he's been awful.
Yes. So at this point, does Saban start making offensive calls?
No.
That's not going to happen, no.
I didn't think so. I don't know. I was trying to make you hopeful.
Yeah. DBs are Saban's bread and butter, so
Yeah,
he cooks
absolutely.
himself, so.
I think Georgia wins, and it's not even really anything against Alabama. It's just
Georgia's very good this year.
Yeah.
Georgia hasn't even played a one-possession game this year other than the Clemson game in the first week.
Yeah.
10-3.
And
honestly,
Alabama's played a few. Haven't they played? I know Auburn, obviously, but LSU was one possession too. Florida was one possession too, I think.
Yeah.
Texas
For,
A&M they lost.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been
Yeah,
closer.
about Bowers being a problem at tight end. That's where I'm getting that from mostly is Texas A&M and Florida. Their tight ends just killed us. Emory Jones had a lot of fun with his tight end.
And Arkansas was a one possession too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
42-35, I think.
So I'm just interested to see how it goes. I really, again, none of it matters to me.
I think it'll be a
just
low
hope it's
scoring
a
game
game.
like the Iron Bowl was last.
If it's a low scoring game, Georgia wins.
I'm going 12-10, 15 overtimes.
15 overtimes.
That score would be impossible in 15 overtimes, though.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Please don't score.
If they never score in overtime and they like miss like 8 of the 2-point conversions, then it's possible.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
Anything's possible with this new format.
I believe.
Yeah.
Did they change it after 2 years ago? Because 2 years ago,
They
I
changed
believe.
it after the LSU Texas A&M 7 overtime game.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Where there was like 160 plays in that game.
Yeah. Now
So
in
it was-
triple, you have to go for 2.
I'm just asking because that Virginia Tech North Carolina game that went to 6 overtimes, where it was 2-point conversions after the third overtime.
Yeah.
I believe that's how Alabama would just beat Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going Georgia, but it's a coin flip for me.
I'll go Georgia, but if Alabama wins, it creates a little bit of chaos. Not too
Yeah.
much, but a little bit.
I think it's less chaos if Alabama wins.
Yeah. It
True.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
not to
true.
put
Yeah, that's
Alabama-
fair. Yeah.
It'd be less chaos.
Yeah. It's easier to
Versus
pick
the other-
who 2 and 3 are.
I
Unless
have the
Michigan loses.
sick feeling that Bama's gonna win because Bama just has Georgia's number, but I'm picking Georgia to win by like 13. I would definitely be surprised if Bama wins.
I don't think it'll be that much.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot closer than that.
If it's 13, it's because Georgia gets like a late touchdown for no reason.
If it is, it's because they have a defensive touchdown, but that's it.
I think it'll be like a 6 to 10 point game
against us.
This could easily be like 18 to 13. Do nothing but kick field goals. 6 field goals. Opponent gets a touchdown and 2 field goals.
I do think Bama has a slight advantage because as I was watching the Auburn-Alabama game, I mean, they mentioned it, but like Bryce Young seems to like he doesn't seem to know the difference between an Iron Bowl and like a home game against New Mexico State. Like he's just like the same person.
Yeah,
and it's kind of crazy how like cold he is.
Yeah, he's Bill O'Brien. The one thing I'll give him credit for is he has done a lot of good work with Bryce so far, and he's said in interviews and stuff that Bryce's maturity is insane. Probably the best he's ever seen it.
He was going into the third overtime and like he didn't even look phased.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the one pro. I think that they'll probably have more composure than Georgia, just because. Especially, I mean, when's the last time was Georgia in the SEC championship last year?
Last year, it was Florida. Last year.
Yeah.
When was the last time they were in it?
The year before.
I mean, how many of these players were starting on that team? Probably not many.
Not the quarterbacks.
Not Bennett.
Yeah, there were a couple at least. Probably linemen. Probably. Well, actually, no. Their line is having a lot of turnover. I
think Alabama at least has the advantage of being there and being on the occasion. But I mean, if Georgia plays like Georgia all season, I don't I don't see a way Bama can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to see how Georgia's offense does against that defense, though. How Stetson Bennett does.
Yeah.
See if Will Anderson gives him hell or not.
It'll
Yeah.
be a really good game regardless.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm
Now,
looking forward. No,
this
we
will.
might lose.
If you like defense, I think this is gonna be the game to watch. But if you like a lot of
Oh,
offense, the
absolutely.
game to watch is gonna be Wake Forest and Pitt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So
I
we
mean,
just
it
got.
is still Alabama does have Bryce Young. I mean, at the
Yeah.
end of this game, most likely he's going to be a 4,000-yard thrower with over 40 touchdowns. I mean, it's an insane
Yeah.
upside to have. So
Especially for an SEC quarterback.
Yeah. First year starter too.
Yeah. What are we moving in now? Coaching carousel or playoff scenarios? Because there's a lot of playoff scenarios.
yeah,
We can
playoffs.
do.
It's gonna playoffs are. It's gonna be any result makes it a difficult choice. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think the only way it's not difficult is if Alabama wins, everybody else wins except for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way it's not hectic.
Yeah. If Houston beats Cincinnati, it makes it a little easier because you can just slide Oklahoma State in there if they win.
Yeah.
And if
But I
they
mean, if you
lose,
have,
then they'll slide Notre
What
Dame
happens
in.
is that? Yeah. What happens
I
though is
mean,
Cincinnati and Oklahoma State both lose.
if you have Alabama lose, then Michigan lose, and Oklahoma State and Cincinnati lose, I mean, what the fuck do you even do?
Yeah. What do you do at that point?
Lost team.
Well, no, for sure. So
I guess you
at
have
least they have
Alabama and Georgia in there, but who's your 3 and 4? Notre Dame and who?
You'd have to put
Baylor?
Notre Dame in because there's
Notre
no.
Dame. Baylor. Yeah, Baylor is 8th right now. They definitely have a claim. 11-2.
Yeah.
Don't their backup QB in this game?
They
What
lost to
happened to,
TCU.
is Jerry Bohannon playing in the Big 12 championship game?
Probably.
Let me check.
Because if Baylor wins with their second string quarterback and all those things happen, they think they could be in based off of what they just did.
Yeah. I still don't think Notre Dame doesn't play this weekend because they're not in a conference. So
Yeah.
they
Well,
have
Yeah,
one loss.
Jerry
There's-
Bohannon is listed as uncertain.
Well,
So it's uncertain. But I mean, it's
Any scenario I see Notre Dame making it though.
imagine if Notre Dame makes it,
I'd be so mad.
and if Notre Dame makes it and wins a playoff game, the first game without Brian Kelly.
That'd be so funny, actually. Now that Brian Kelly's gone, I don't care if Notre Dame wins.
Dude, if Marcus Armstrong wins a playoff game for his first game, Notre Dame fans will give him a lifetime deal.
You mean Marcus Freeman?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I said Armstrong.
Yeah,
Marcus
Defense.
Freeman. If he wins first game, they're gonna give him a lifetime deal.
Especially if it's a playoff game.
Oh yeah.
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 Because they're in a New York 6 regardless now, right?
Probably.
Yeah. There's not many good teams out there this year. A lot of 2 and 3 lost teams.
Well, I mean, they'll get benefit on New York Six just because those people who arrange those bowl games know that Notre Dame fans are going to travel.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah,
everywhere.
They'll get the benefit all the time. Every time. Because of the fan base and the history.
Yeah. Blue blood.
Yep.
Oh, don't let Reed hear that word. All right. Now that we've discussed playoff scenarios.
Wait. I have one that would please the Iowa fan. So
The Iowa
what-
fan.
Who in here is an Iowa fan?
no, please an Iowa fan. No one here's an Iowa fan. I'm just saying this scenario would please an Iowa fan.
We're now simping for corn.
Not even the good corn too.
All right. Well, anyways, My scenario would be that Georgia beats Alabama handily, like by 17 or something like that. Obviously, Iowa would have to beat Michigan, but not only do they beat Michigan, but they like destroy them like by 30 points or so. Then Oklahoma State beats Baylor. Cincinnati loses to Houston. So then you have your conference champions be Houston, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Iowa. Pac-12 does not matter in this case, but just for shits and giggles to confirm it, let's have Utah beat Oregon, and then
He said
ACC
Oregon.
here in the podcast. What?
Cam, what are you talking about? They would put Notre Dame in. Notre Dame's sixth.
Okay, so that's Georgia,
Still
Oklahoma
3.
State, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
Who would-
I understand what he's saying because Baylor would lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what he's saying because then they beat the number 2
lost
team.
to
Do they go to 4?
Alabama then.
they would
Nah,
not
I
put.
don't.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
they
think they
beat
would.
number 2. Fair.
I think I mean I think in an unbiased world, Iowa would make it.
Well, where's Iowa right now in the rankings? Aren't they like
13.
pretty like
13.
uh, 9?
But I mean, you beat number 2, you're gonna jump along.
Yeah.
Well, wait. No, Iowa plays number 2. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I get what he's saying. I don't know if they make it, but it would be interesting
It's
to
a
see that
stretch.
happen.
If it gets to 2 losses, I don't think they have a good chance.
I think they have a
would be
better
good.
chance because they won a conference title.
Yeah, them and they'll be the only 2-loss conference champ in that situation.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that would be coming off beating the number 2 team in the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
because then I mean at that point when it gets to 2 losses, it's either do you drop Michigan out or do you put Iowa in for beating Michigan? And I think the choice is kind of easy.
Yeah, head to head.
So I
But
get. I mean, it's definitely a weird scenario.
Yeah.
for sure it is. It's a highly unlikely scenario, but it's not impossible.
I think the most unlikely thing about that scenario was Iowa actually scoring 30 points.
Yeah.
It's just an area I saw on TikTok, so I wanted to say it on the podcast.
No, it was a good one. If
I guess-
Iowa could do that, that would be if that scenario did happen, it would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was an Iowa fan and all that happened and Iowa didn't get into the playoffs, I'd be kind of mad. I'd be like, well, we did all we could. We just blew out the number 2 team in the nation. Everyone else in front of us lost. Like, you're gonna put basically that would put like a non-conference champ in over them. So
Yeah.
Which
It
they were
wouldn't be the first time though, would it? Hasn't that happened before?
yeah.
yeah,
They
Yeah.
were non-conference with Alabama, but not a 2-loss.
Ohio State missed as a conference champion, didn't they?
yeah. When we lost to Penn State, we
Yeah.
Yeah.
made it. So it's happened twice.
What year was that?
2016, I think.
Oh, so that's year you lost 38-0. Okay.
Lose 38-0. That was Michigan State.
I remember it happening because remember we
you lost to
every
Clemson
time-
38-0 after Tech played Clemson in the ACC championship game.
We did not lose 38-0. That
It
was
was
Michigan.
Oh, it's
31-0.
31-0. My bad.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I do remember that
Scored 0
happening.
point.
I do remember that happening because remember we had that every time Cam would say something like Big Ten supremacy, we would have that running counter. And the last time the Big Ten scored a touchdown in the playoff,
Yes.
Yeah.
and it got into like 1,000 days or something.
Ohio State still the only Big Ten team that scored in the playoffs.
Because
that-
Michigan State got shut out too.
Michigan gets in.
Levi, you care to transition to the coaching carousel?
Sure. Yeah, we go to the coaching carousel. So right now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 Power 5 or 14 Power 5 coaching carousel items to talk about. One that pertains to the Power 5, but it's a G5 team. So I guess we'll probably start off with the one that Reed wants to rant about the most. So USC firing Clay Helton after 2 games and hiring Lane Kiffin from Oklahoma.
Yeah, Reed,
Huh?
you wanted to talk about this. You said you could go on and on about this one.
Did I just see Lane? Did I just hear Lane Kiffin from Oklahoma?
Oh, it's my bad, Lincoln Riley.
I
You did, yeah.
I was on ESPN.
didn't even catch
and
it.
His name came up. Yeah, Lincoln Riley at USC.
I mean, it's not a bad move for USC. It's
Oh,
not
what?
necessarily.
That is not
It's
true
not
going on about the other
necessarily
day.
a
To be
great move
fair, he did
by
not
Oklahoma.
say it was bad for USC. He was talking about Lincoln Riley.
True. That's fair.
I think that's an offer that cannot be turned down at all.
Oh yeah, but
I mean,
anybody.
they paid over $1 million for his houses, and then bought him a $6 million house,
Yeah.
a $110 million contract, and a private jet at his use.
At his disposal, personal disposal.
Yeah. Whenever he
what
wants family
fuck?
too.
Could you
Yep.
imagine if you could do that with recruits?
It's all boosters. It happens.
Or sorry, if you could do that legally with recruits.
Yeah, legally. There's the word.
Legally. There you go.
Dude, Arch Manning would own an entire city.
Damn. He'd have multiple.
Hey, if Jim Harbaugh can do sleepovers, why can't Lincoln Riley use his private jet?
Oh, speaking of Lincoln Riley, have you guys heard about the? I think it's the defensive back coach for Oklahoma that's recruiting for both Oklahoma and USC.
Okay, what is that about?
I heard
That's
he's
a violation of what it is.
he's like a state employee for Oklahoma, so I think he's like they might get in big trouble for that.
He's Oklahoma. So
Well, it was weird because there was a article that was linked where he was at a recruit for Oklahoma, and then somebody quote tweeted it, and he was in another picture in a USC outfit.
Damn.
There was also a recruit for USC that broke the news too. In an interview, he was asked.
Yeah,
out.
It was the quarterback, wasn't it? It was the quarterback that they recruited.
Yes.
Malaki Nelson or whatever. Malachi.
Malachi?
However you say it.
Is that the name you're looking for?
I think it is. I don't know how to pronounce that dude's name. I've never seen that kind of name
Some
before.
people can't pronounce Tua Tagovailoa. Reed can't pronounce Malachi.
There's levels to it.
DJ Uyunglele. Malachi.
Dude, when they played at Carter Finley, the announcer pronounced it differently every single time. It was never the same. But I think Lincoln Riley, if he can get a hold of that high school area, like he has for Oklahoma, which should be easier at USC, I think he's got a really good shot at building a good program.
Mm-hmm. But let's be real here. Like, he totally threw that Oklahoma State game.
I don't know if he threw it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the deal USC offered him, and you're trying to tell me he wasn't like, all right, I don't need this. But it's going to be worse press if he wins the game and gets into playoff contention.
Then they just delay the move then.
You think the players would want to throw that game?
A lot of Oklahoma fans feel like things were almost intentionally worse in the second half.
Well, although this is the shades of red, and we're all fans of different shades of red on teams, there's not a single Oklahoma fan here, so I cannot confirm nor deny that.
I think it's a stretch. I'm not saying...
it definitely is a stretch. But
I'm not saying he's not a good or horrible play caller. I think it's a stretch to think that he intentionally threw a game.
Yeah,
I mean, if that was the deal USC was offering him, I can't imagine USC made that contingent on him losing that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I think that offer would have still been there regardless if Oklahoma made it to the
I
playoff.
mean,
yeah.
they announced that he was leaving, and he was in recruits' homes in a USC shirt that fucking day. Where did he get the shirt?
Well, maybe he lost, and he's like, you know what, fuck it.
However, the timing was pretty perfect with the recruiting and visits and things like that. The timing was kind of
But now they're
fitting.
but now Oklahoma has filed a compliance against him.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of stupid because I think the NCAA will, like, they'll look at it and then they'll just look at his history with Oklahoma and get just everybody in trouble.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if Oklahoma wants to do that to themselves, great. But
Yeah. Especially going into the SEC.
They're gonna kill their program before it's even in an actual conference.
Like this hire right now, like they have to make a future coach hire.
Yeah.
Justin Fuente all day, baby.
They can't bridge a coach right now. They can't afford it. They need somebody to build a team that is ready for the SEC. Because if they don't, it's not going to go good.
Even
absolutely, yeah.
Says the interim, he's not a long-term plan. So.
They cannot Kevin Sumlin ham you into the SEC.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
it's going to be that 8-4 team, that 7-5 team that just is there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin, despite in the media saying he will not take a college job, is forced to take a college job.
Oklahoma. I mean, we'll get into it later, but
for
USC purpose, I think it's a good hire for the future.
It's a good hire.
Pac-12.
Yeah.
So going to the SEC, where the next one, where Coach O decided to part ways with LSU, and LSU hires Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly.
Just kind of out of the blue, too.
I mean, I went back and watched the podcast last week, and we spent a little bit talking about how it seemed like LSU had no direction with their hire, and they just went and pulled that out.
Yeah, because a lot of people thought it was going to be Billy Napier, but he's going to Florida.
Yep. Which we'll talk about in a second, but
yeah.
But I think the reasons they listed for the hire are questionable, because they said they wanted somebody with character. What was it? Character, winning, leadership, and academic integrity, or something.
Yeah.
And like Brian Kelly, I mean, in terms of like making sure his recruits are good in school, he's elite. His team's always had high GPAs.
Yeah.
But winning and character,
I mean,
I think that's a little questionable.
I can only think of one losing season in the last 10 years, but I could be wrong.
But is LSU hiring Brian Kelly so that they can have winning seasons?
No, because Brian Kelly at Notre Dame had a much easier schedules than he's going to have at LSU.
And so, in terms of winning, I would imagine when they say that, they mean making the playoffs and winning national championships.
Yeah, that's because they fired. That's why they fired Coach O.
Yeah, when LSU says that, that's what they mean.
And so, I think he made one, right?
Yeah, and he got blown up by Bama.
Yeah.
So, and
they played Clemson and won 2. They've made 2.
And they got blown up by Clemson. That's right.
Okay. So, I mean, in the way he made it with Notre Dame, he's not going to have that luxury in the SEC. I mean,
oh no, he's not. He's not playing. UVA, Virginia Tech,
You're
Wake
gonna have
Forest.
to beat Alabama
Yeah,
to make it,
and Georgia or Georgia.
and Georgia. It's an and. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to beat both of them to
Pretty
make
much,
it.
they're probably.
And you're gonna have to beat. I mean,
Yeah, Lane Kiffin,
yeah,
Nick Leach is a joke in my opinion, but Mississippi State is still a solid team.
yeah.
I will say I don't
Tennessee's
know.
on the build.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have found a more, in terms of prestige. I don't think they would have gotten a bigger coach.
Yeah. I think-
He's a very prestigious coach. He's just always had an ACC or ACC/Big Ten.
Yeah, and Stanford and
Schedule.
USC rivalry.
I mean, I understand, but I don't. Is there another coach realistically that he could have got that had 2 national championship appearances?
Have they
Well,
made 2 national
they were
championships,
playoff-
or did they just make 1 national championship and 2 playoffs?
2
I don't
playoff.
think they've
two
made 2.
playoff national championships.
Oh no, they played Clemson in the playoff.
They've never
I
won a
think.
playoff game.
Yeah, they've never won a playoff
Yeah.
game. They haven't won a national championship.
They've
They played the
won a
national championships against Alabama in 2012, but again, they
Yeah.
got blown out. It was not even
I
close.
don't think they played Clemson. I think they lost in the playoff against Clemson.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were both of us in the playoffs.
yeah.
But even then, so would you find a coach that even made 1 national championship appearance that they could have realistically got?
Yeah, they fired him.
Well, he makes the playoffs with that LSU team. I think they'll be fine.
But I'm not saying that. I'm
But-
not even arguing whether they should or should not have kept him. I'm saying if you made that decision and you're looking, would you have even found one that made one?
I mean, there aren't that many, so no.
That's my point. I mean, in terms of prestige, if that's what they're going after, that's probably their best bet.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to try to pry Urban Meyer from the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I don't think he.
Meyer-
I don't, and I just. I don't
Meyer,
think
Meyer
he's
already
that.
stated he's not coming back to college after this year. So
Here we go.
Urban
So I think
already ran from the SEC once.
Yeah.
and then the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so in terms of prestige, I think that was probably their best hire. Whether for the future that's their best hire probably remains to be seen.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
think for
Like
higher,
Old, so
he'll need to prove it a little bit for sure.
Did you see where he wanted Marcus Freeman to come down, and he's going to make him the highest paid defensive coordinator?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And now to cut that out and signed him as the head coach because all the
Yeah.
kids wanted it.
I will say that they're gonna, like, his hire is gonna be compared to Billy Napier at Florida, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I mean,
Because
whatever LSU does, it's gonna be, well, what was Napier doing at Florida?
Yeah. They're going to
Well-
be compared the entire time.
Both fan base, both programs are going to expect the same thing out of both coaches too. Both want wins immediately.
Oh, yeah.
LSU, at least, it's a more realistic thing to have wins immediately. I don't think Florida's in a position to win
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh yeah. Oh, and they're going to want it. And if Napier doesn't win, 9 games in his first year, they're going to want him fired. They're going to call for his head.
Yeah.
And he
Florida's-
won't win 9 games in his first year.
Yeah.
I hope that they. I mean, we'll talk about that later. But in terms of LSU, I think that's it's just a hire. Honestly, I don't even really care
Yeah.
what they offered. It's either, and more than most, it's either going to work or it's not.
Yeah.
Right now,
Um,
I'm saying is, I hope Brian Kelly has a bitch of a time recruiting in these first few years.
I do too.
LSU. he's
Like,
not
how
gonna-
could you, as a high school kid, just be like, yeah, Brian, let's do this after he just walked right out on Notre Dame like that?
Well,
Yeah.
also the comments last year too about executing the whole team.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's so fun that to that interview.
Point mention is a little sketchy for sure.
That interview is so funny because, like, it starts off, he's like, I'm in favor of execution, and I'm thinking, oh, like, play execution.
Yeah. No.
He just goes to completely left field.
Speaking of prying Urban Meyer from the Jaguars, Virginia Tech hires defensive coordinator from Penn State, Brent Pry, to be the next head coach. They're paying him $4 million a year.
Nice.
And they're giving him $5.5 million for full-time assistants, which is the second most in the ACC. So, whoever he's keeping J.C. Price, the interim coach, as an associate head coach and a defensive line coach. I imagine he's gonna get rid of Cornelson. I don't know what he's gonna do on the defensive side though. Ryan Smith, our DB's coach, he's gonna keep because they've worked together before. Tierlink, who we got from the Bills 2 years ago, might stay. But I'm excited to get rid of Cornelson. Just want to put that out there. I hate that motherfucker.
Keeps him.
I'd kill myself.
Keeps him and gives him raise.
I would drive off the nearest bridge at my earliest convenience. I actually saw someone on Twitter say, "Why don't we triple Cornelson's pay?" And I was like, "Read my bio." And my bio is, "I fucking hate Cornelson."
Yeah, I think the Virginia Tech one is that's another one that's going to be interesting down the line on how it works out.
Well, I think the reason they made this hire isn't. I mean, he's done good at Penn State. Don't get me wrong. He's had good defenses, and he's been on a Power 5 program. But this is his first time being a head coach. But he's also from the area. He went to high school an hour away from Virginia Tech. He was a GA under Frank Beamer and Bud Foster, for 3 years, and then that's where he started his coaching career at.
I think in terms of Virginia Tech, this hire is kind of not normal for him. So if you go back and look at past Virginia Tech coaches, when they're hired, they are really young.
Yeah,
like
he's
Fuente
51.
was 40, Beamer was like 42. The one before, I remember looking back, it was like until like the 50s where it wasn't like 45 or lower, and Price 51.
Yeah. Which is still fine, because, I mean, you got coaches coaching in their 60s and 70s. I mean, look at Mac Brown.
In terms of Virginia Tech, it's a different approach than
Mac
historically they've taken.
But they did go from an offensive-minded coach in Fuente back to a defensive-minded coach, like Beamer was.
I do think it's a good, or not necessarily good, but indicative of Virginia Tech wanting to get back to defensive football, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because he's put some good
those 6-3 double overtime games.
Yeah, that's right, baby. But I would love to see Pry bring Bud Foster back, even just to be, a co-defensive coordinator, just to help get these new recruits developed.
Yeah.
Because he was a very developmental coach, and we've been lacking development for 6 years now.
Yeah. Did he bring somebody over with him to be the DC? Because otherwise, you still need a DC.
He is not. No, our DC right now is still Justin Hamilton.
Gotcha.
But he will be coaching in the bowl game. Whichever bowl game it may be, he said he's going to coach.
The new hire will?
Yeah, probably will, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's interesting there.
I read that earlier, that he is going to be on the field, and then Fuente's staff he had will be, up in the boxes.
Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting.
So it's going to be Pry and JC on the field, with probably Hamilton and Ryan Smith. But Cornelson and the offensive staff will be up in the boxes.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And that also reminded me a little bit of back to USC for just a second real quick. With Lincoln Riley, they play California as the game got postponed due to COVID on Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific. So it'll be interesting to see if they let Lincoln coach that game.
I feel like if they were, it'd already been announced.
Debut game that would be for Lincoln Riley. Teams not even bowl eligible versus California, who's also not bowl eligible.
Yeah. You just tell us with Jackson Dart, though. See if he likes it. Yeah.
All right, moving on. This is my favorite one. I'm sorry, I don't care. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
Gary Patterson leaving or mutually agreeing to leave TCU, and the crosstown rival Stoney Dykes from SMU taking the job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be a lot of bad blood, and I love it.
I've seen it some on Twitter already that they're not happy.
Oh yeah, no.
Southern Methodist.
And I think the most bizarre thing is that did y'all see how Stoney Dykes got to TCU Stadium?
No.
He
No.
took a fucking helicopter
Yeah,
from SMU. It's a 40-minute drive.
Dallas to Fort Worth. Hold up in a
Damn.
helicopter to get there faster.
That's honestly, that's going to be my favorite game to watch next year. I just have to see how that goes.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I've got some family friends that go to TCU, so
Imagine if Sonny Dykes rolled up to TCU in a Mustang.
yeah,
That'd be so funny.
that'd be funny for sure. I can't wait for their game next year too, because that'll be
Oh, it'll be a heated one.
yeah, especially Dykes recruits that stay at SMU.
Oh yeah.
That'll be
Yeah.
different.
And I haven't heard anything about any of them leaving either. So
Yeah.
it could be a very familiar team for Stoney Dykes. I don't know where it's played at next year. I didn't look, but either way, it's going to be if it's in SMU, that's going to be even crazier.
True.
Yeah.
Any idea on where Gary Patterson's gonna go?
We could talk about that.
How
There's
long
a
was you for? 20 years?
Forever.
Yeah. It's at SMU. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's getting
fuck.
crucified.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a game to watch for sure.
All right. Yeah. All right. So
We're
next
switching
one.
locations of the game. God damn it.
What?
You hired somebody to
Yeah,
replace.
I'm going into Washington. Jimmy Lake fired from Washington.
We love
And
this.
Kalen DeBoer from Fresno is now their new head coach.
Yep.
Yeah, Fresno State is going through it right now too.
Dude,
Yeah.
their coach and their
Mad at
quarterback.
Yeah. Because it's not just DeBoer that's coming. He's bringing Jake Hayner and Jalen Cropper with him.
Yeah.
Their quarterback and their number one receiver.
Yeah, they're pissed.
And there's reportedly an unnamed other receiver too. Second receiver that's coming too, but we don't know.
They're hanging Schrader signs on the football field and in front of subways.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh my god.
On the apartment balconies.
I wish they played next year.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Get her scheduled.
Are they?
Let's make it happen.
Oh, I thought you said they were. That's fucking crazy too.
Washington AD, if you're listening to this, I don't know your name.
You don't want to. She's terrible, but hopefully this fire works. Young Cohen.
I mean, it's definitely a good hire. It's just
yeah.
Can he
Very
work
excited.
it?
He's bringing his offensive coordinator with him. So we'll get Hayner, Cropper, DOC. They're all familiar. And then Hayner has experience with a few other receivers that are still on the roster too. Terrell Bynum's coming back. That'll be the one he's most familiar with. So
You got a
That'll be
defense lined up for next year?
what?
You got a defense lined up for next year?
Yeah.
Gotta stop whatever FCS team you play.
No, trust me, defense isn't the problem. The offense was entirely the issue. I'm honestly impressed that the defense didn't give up at all this year. They fought with it and all the way until the end. I'm surprised nobody's transferred yet.
I'm surprised.
Actually, since DeBoer got hired, I'm not surprised. But I'm surprised somebody didn't transfer during the season because the defense is just getting absolutely left out to dry every single drive. And that was
Harley Brewer.
much every single drive. So the defense balled out. I'm very proud of them.
All right, Levi, next team.
The next one, we go to Gainesville. Dan Mullen fired from
Billy
Florida.
Napier.
Billy Napier hired to Florida. I think, in my opinion, this could be the hire of the carousel if they give Napier time.
Oh, they're not giving
Yeah.
Napier time. They don't give anybody time.
If they can be patient with
Fans are
them.
not-
Yeah, right. Florida and patient don't go in the same sentence.
I'm just saying, if they can be patient, I think that'll work out.
Florida fans won't be regardless, but if the program is patient with him, it'll pay off. I think he's going places. He's going to be a good coach. He
Yeah.
already is.
He's done relatively good hiring at Lafayette.
Yeah. He's got like 3 number 1 classes in a row in that conference too.
So I think it's a very good step in the right direction. But again, Florida needs to not beat themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be harder for him to recruit now.
I don't know about that.
Well, you're not
I think
out
it
in
is.
Louisiana now. You're not. I mean, you're not right there next to Texas and everything. You're in Florida. I mean, now you're competing with Florida State. You're
He's
competing
got
with
his guys
Georgia,
though, and they still have all those-
Alabama.
you don't lose those recruiting connections when you move.
But I will say that Miami is a hotbed for talent.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
they
so, I
are.
mean, he
It is
still has
insane.
that. It's just, can he convince high-level recruits to go to Florida instead of to traditional top schools such as Georgia, Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will they follow Napier year 1 or year 2 when, if they're not going to be patient, that's when he needs them the most. Instead of going to Alabama and Tennessee,
I hope they change their
maybe
ways.
even.
I hope they change their ways and they're patient with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
Otherwise, he's going to end up at some other P5 school, and he's going to do great because
Yeah,
he's going to end up
Florida-
at a program that has patience.
Yeah. If Florida is stupid enough to let him go, they're definitely going to pay for it later. So
Who are they going to get? Because they're not getting Lane Kiffin.
yeah, no. I honestly don't think Kiffin leaves Ole Miss unless Saban retires.
Well, he
Yeah.
said he'd take the Miami job, but Miami's not going to let Diaz go this year.
I don't think he'd take the Miami job. Ole Miss is a better job right now.
All right, next one. We have the leftovers of Sonny Dykes leaving SMU.
Mm-hmm.
Rhett Lashley, the Miami offensive coordinator, hired SMU.
I don't know if that's a good hire.
It's spoke to one of our Miami friends that Levi and I have, and he didn't like him. He thought he wasn't a very good offensive coordinator. He wasn't bad, but not good either.
Kind of middle of the road.
Yeah. Which, I mean, for SMU, that might not be bad. They are G5. They do play lower competition than at
That's
Lashley was coaching in. So,
Be fair though, if you can score 40 points in the American Conference, you're probably going to win most games.
yeah. And he's still got all of Dyke's recruits so far. So,
that helps.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you're still gonna have to out. Well, shit.
If he can get those kids to buy into his system,
Well,
he should be fine for at least the first year or two.
Well,
I mean,
shit,
to
you're
be
only gonna
fair,
you only have to battle Houston and Cincinnati for a couple more years because they're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, when are they going to the Big 12?
2020.
Three
Or no? Yeah, 3 or 5. It's an odd number year.
yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those two. To be fair, Miami did, after they put Tyler Van Dyke in, they did constantly put up big numbers on offense.
I mean, they always put up big numbers. Derek King did play good. They didn't have a lot of targets. The only positive that Van Dyke had on King was that Van Dyke was an excellent long distance thrower.
Yeah.
King was just more mobile.
Yeah, he was a better
He broke the
playmaker.
touchdown streak record that Tebow had for games with him passing and rushing touchdown, I think.
Yeah, Derek King, he's an amazing playmaker, but he couldn't. His deep throwing wasn't always good.
Yeah,
and that's what we're playing Van Dyke. Yeah, so it'll be. The only reason I really included it is just because how interesting that game is going to be next year.
Yeah,
and honestly, that's probably one of the games I'm actually looking forward to in 2022.
So are we thinking Tate Martell to SMU next?
Oh my god!
That
man needs to go to Division III and call it.
Yeah.
Oh,
go start flipping burgers at McDonald's.
And the last, not the last one, but the last one that they know who the coach is, South Bend, Notre Dame. Brian Kelly leaves them for LSU. Marcus Freeman is hired, promoted.
Yep.
DC.
He's a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, it's a Power 5 level program that's just not in a Power 5 conference.
Yeah.
And he's gonna
already got a relationship with all the kids, the recruits that they're already bringing in for this class too. Probably 2020.
The thing with him is he's gonna get patience from the fans.
Oh yeah,
just because he did not bend their eyes to trade them for LSU.
Yeah.
So
there were a lot of Tech fans that wanted him as the next head coach too. Before Pry was announced.
So I think this was the best situation for Notre Dame and for Freeman.
Yeah. Compared to all the other coach hires we've talked about so far, he is ahead of the ball in terms of he doesn't have to make the kids buy in. The kids wanted him actively on social media. They were calling for him to be hired.
Oh yeah,
as the head coach. So.
Same with Tommy Reese and everything. I know he wasn't like a head coach nominee, but like the players want him to stay as their coordinator.
Who?
Tommy Reese, the offensive coordinator / QB coach, I think, for Notre Dame.
Did he stay?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I guess for Notre Dame, it should probably go along with no.
Yeah, keeping most of their staff, most of their kids, most of their recruits, probably.
I think they're in a good situation going to 2022 and keep pissing Joey off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they're going to have to
maybe they'll be better now. I don't know.
So then we have 3 Power 5 that have a vacancy for their head coaching position. First one, and obviously most notable, is in Norman, Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley leaving for USC. Bob Stoops is interim for the bowl game. But they do not know who their head coach is.
They tossed all of Lincoln Riley's shit out the office window.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, it was a good video.
That's funny.
Who do you think
ends up there? Who do y'all think?
I can't think of one
good
coach.
Think?
Maybe they convince Fickle, but it's a long shot. I don't know.
He's already announced he's staying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Jamie Chadwell.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, that's a good option.
That's a huge jump from G5 to, a team one of the SEC, though.
Yeah. Dan Mullen. Back in the SEC.
Yeah. Ghost Smells on.
Yeah.
So the names that I've heard so far, the names I've heard so far that are confirmed interviewing is Matt Campbell, Iowa State.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dan Lanning, the Georgia DC.
That's a good one.
And then Brent Venables, the Clemson DC.
Yeah, honestly, all 3 of those would be good.
I thought you said Venables was going to leave Google left after they won the Natty, though.
What?
Like 2 podcasts ago.
What'd you say?
You said if Venables was going to leave Clemson, he would have won. He would have left after they won a natty.
Who, me?
Yeah, 3 of
Uh,
us were like agreements on that.
I don't. I, I don't know. I think it's less likely now that because his son is on Clemson.
Yeah,
Um, I think
What position?
Venables is not leaving unless it's like either Dabo leaves and he takes over at Clemson, or it's something like the perfect situation. Like I want to happen, but like Saban at Alabama leaving or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think if he wanted to be a head coach desperately, he would have left a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely not desperate. He's definitely biding his time and waiting for the good opportunity. Which
Well,
Yeah,
if he left for Oklahoma, you'd have to assume his son would transfer too.
I think if the Lincoln Riley thing happened, Oklahoma wasn't going to the SEC and all of the recruits stayed, I think you could make a possibility of Venables going.
mm,
But I don't know. I mean, it's a shit show there right now.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Williams and Rattler both in the transfer portal. So.
So I don't.
It
I
would
don't
be
see.
really hard for a defensive-minded coach to go there because it's the Big 12. There's not a whole lot of defense to begin with.
But you're gonna have to if you're planning. Oklahoma's planning for a long term.
Yeah, they're planning to
Yeah.
go to the. They
You're
have to be
gonna need
about that.
defense in the SEC.
You
That's
can't make
that's not even a debate.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have no defense in the SEC, Bama will throw 80 on you in Norman
Oh
and walk away laughing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ole Miss 80 on you. Bama will throw 80 on you.
So
If Napier gets going, Florida will throw 80 on you.
I think Lanning would be their best option right now.
if you're going defensive, I think Lanning is your best option.
Yeah, no doubt.
Or Averill. Either one would be a good option, I think.
I would be.
Yeah, Vrabel you'd have to convince and make a perfect scenario.
I would be shocked if Matt Campbell was the next coach of Oklahoma.
I would too.
Absolutely shocked.
Yeah. When's the last time he beat Oklahoma?
I don't even know. Let's look it up. I feel like it's not soon because I feel like Reed would have said something.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, their history is 78-7.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Iowa State in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
78-7. Holy fuck.
That's Iowa State.
Yeah. Matt Campbell is literally their best coach ever. So.
Well, it'll be interesting. I think if it's those three, I think Lanning probably deserves it the most.
The same reason I'm very excited about DeBoer and all of Washington is basically Lanning would be a great hire for Oklahoma for the same reason is he'd be cheaper than the other two, probably. Definitely cheaper than Campbell. Probably cheaper than Vrabel because Vrabel is Vrabel. So you'd have more money to pay coordinators.
Which is going to be very important.
Coordinators.
Moving to the last two, we have
Coach some of that Georgia staff too.
We have Durham, North Carolina. Duke, David Cutcliffe, parting ways. Duke.
Guys, I have breaking news in the NBA world. KME, I don't think you want to listen to this, but the Grizzlies are currently up 148-75 right now. In an NBA game, they're up 148-75.
Cam, I would like to know when this became an NBA podcast.
Hey, I'm just saying, blowouts are happening in other sports as well.
But yeah,
All right,
Durham,
Levi,
North
please continue.
Carolina, David Cutcliffe parting ways, and now Duke is looking for a head coach.
Justin Fuente,
I think no, that's not happening.
Gary Patterson.
The two that I've seen so far that are most linked to the job is Matt Neely at Charlotte, where Duke would have to pay us. I think it was a $600,000 buyout, and then the other one was Bill O'Brien.
Bama says
Bill
yes.
Bill O'Brien was a offensive coordinator at Duke.
Yeah, send them back.
Back in the late 2000s.
Oh yeah.
So he
Send them
has connections,
back
and that's
to
why
back.
there's talk about it, but I'm not sure that would happen. I think Matt Neely would probably be their best one if they could. The other one I saw was Mike Houston at ECU.
Did Jamie
But
Chadwell re-sign with Coastal or something?
no, we'll get to him though.
Okay.
Mike Houston was another one for Duke, but ECU just raised his buyout to $2 million, so it might have deterred Duke away.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one that is he mentioned the name though, Jamie Chadwell. The one that just happened today, Virginia Bronco Mendenhall semi-retiring from his coaching
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
Jamie Chadwell seems to be the early high favorite to take the job in Charlottesville.
I don't want to play against Jamie Chadwell every year. I mean,
Yeah.
Probably a good coach, but from what I've heard, Chadwell has a very unique offense.
See, I don't think Chadwell even should still be. I think the only I thought that he would be gone after last year. I thought he was going to go to South Carolina, in all honesty.
Yeah, then they grabbed Shane Beamer.
And then they got Beamer. So I think in terms of this carousel, this is probably the only one that made sense. I think the only one you could argue also would have made somewhat sense is Virginia Tech, just because same state.
Yeah.
But I mean, G5 coaches, when they go to Power 5, typically they stay in the same region, such as Napier to Florida, DeBoer from California to Washington. So I think in terms of that, it makes sense to go from Charlotte's or Coastal to Charlottesville.
Well, part of Whit Babcock's Virginia Tech's athletic director, part of his list of things he wanted in a coach was have P5 coaching in the history, and Chadwell, I don't know if he does or not.
No, but I think. I mean, I'm not saying that's horrible, but Chadwell, he's done a good job ever since he's been at Coastal, even as a offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that was 1 year. Well, 2 years. But he's only been the head coach since 2019.
Yeah, but he took a. They were 5. I believe they were 5-7 the year. They were 3-9 his first year, 5-7 his second year of also offensive coordinator. He took head coach. They were 11-1.
11-1 his second year coaching, yeah.
Was it his second year or his first year?
His first year he was 5-7 as head coach. As
Oh,
interim,
was he?
as interim in 2017, he was 3-9.
Well, the team was 3-9. I think he only coached like the last game or something.
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
But I mean, he took a 3-9. Okay, even if he did have a 5-7 season, he took a 3-9 team to 11-1 in 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, 3.
And that's
2, yeah, 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
2. I mean, that's pretty good, regardless of P5 experience. He knows how to build a team. So I think if Virginia get him, it'll be a good hire. but are they willing? I think his buyout is
Not only was
1.
that team 11-1, but their only loss was in the bowl game against Liberty,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they only lost by 3 in overtime.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, very good. His buyout is 1.15 million, I believe,
Which is low.
is what I read. So I mean, it's not a lot if Virginia's willing to go after a coach like that.
Yeah.
Um,
He's 44 too, so get a younger coach.
I don't want Virginia to get him because I like Chadwell. I don't want to hate Chadwell.
you can like the opposing head coach.
Not of a rival, buddy.
What do you? I absolutely fucking love Larry Fedora.
Okay, yeah. Oh, we all love Larry Fedora.
That is one
Don't
of my
get it
favorite
twisted.
coaches of all time. I'll never forget 4th and goal in Chapel Hill. He called a triple option.
Yeah.
He was on the 1-yard line. He called a triple fucking option.
Oh
Where
my gosh.
the wide receiver was throwing to Mitch Trubisky. It was the most bizarre play I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I like
Oh
2022.
gosh.
8 wins in a row for Washington.
Oh, that's funny. You can like the opposing head coach. Love Larry Fedora. Was there one more, or was that the last one? UVA
Nope,
opening.
that is it for right now. The Bronco Mendenhall was earlier today.
Yeah.
So I mean, next week if some stuff happens, we'll obviously cover it. But as of
Yeah.
right now, that is up to date on the coaching carousel.
It's gonna be hard since Justin Fuente and Virginia take parted ways, and Fuente thought he was gonna get TCU or SMU or something. I don't know. He's stupid. It's gonna be hard for him to find a high school job at a 2A school where they're gonna allow him and Cornelson to come in.
What else?
Yeah. Another development today as well. The last coach is Jake Dickert, Washington State's interim, got promoted to head coach officially today.
Who?
Jake Dickert, the Washington State interim.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that got done about an hour ago.
Oh,
Officially
okay.
promoted.
Yeah, so there you go. I think in terms of Fuente, though, there's got to be a G5 team that has no standards. Florida International, right? I mean, didn't they just have Butch Davis?
South Florida.
Yeah. South Florida had Charlie Strong too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's got to be a team with zero morals or no expectations of themselves whatsoever.
Yeah.
Temple.
Did Bowling Green not just fire Scott Leffler?
Sure.
But yeah, that is now the Washington State is now the up-to-date coaching carousel. We can move into what is the Heisman race.
Yeah, very interesting race this year.
I don't know. It is a very interesting race. It's really hard to tell.
Interesting because it's wide open, and also interesting because there hasn't really been a lot of plays or moments that you can point to that are, hey, that's a Heisman moment. Maybe CJ Stroud versus Michigan State. The overtime or getting to overtime drive for Bryce Young. 12 plays, 97 yards. But
yeah,
that's probably stretching.
I still have Bryce Young as my one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bryce Young at 1 because Ohio State lost, and losing does not help your Heisman case.
I think if he has an abysmal game against Georgia, I think it's a complete toss up between him Corral, Strud, and Pickett.
Yeah.
If Pickett goes out and throws a masterclass against Wake Forest, he could end up being.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's likely to. It's
He
not
could
like he's
definitely
not
stick in.
gonna.
It's open enough for it.
Yeah,
The closest Heisman race in like years, to be honest. I don't even know how close a Heisman race has been in ages between so many people.
and I think another thing, one that nobody's even really talked about until probably now, if Hassan Haskins.
Yeah.
I mean, if he has an amazing game against Iowa, he might
Yeah, he might get
shoot
it.
up into it.
Well, I mean,
He's-
from Monday this week, according to FanDuel.com, the top 5 for the Heisman are Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, and Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end from
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah, he went crazy on
Gotta be
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. If his defense has got to be Will Anderson.
I'm just telling you what FanDuel says.
Yeah.
No, I mean it. Honestly, it's crazy. It's definitely an interesting year this year for the Heisman.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is, absolutely.
And it's funny because this is a year. This is also like, I mean, a couple weeks ago we were also saying that it looked like it was only going to be Young and Strud,
Yeah.
and now
Before
it's
that,
not.
a couple weeks in a row, we were Walker, we were Bryce, we were Corral, unanimous
Yeah.
Walker, Stroud, and
in a row.
that was my 3 for a while.
Yeah, it's a. I think it's going to be a. I think if obviously if Bryce Young goes out and plays amazing against Georgia, it's over.
Yeah, I do think that the SEC championship game is his stage to show why he deserves it.
I mean, it's also his main competition odds
Doesn't.
wise are not playing in conference championship games.
Yeah.
Other than Pickett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stroud, Walker, and Corral.
Yeah. They're done for regular season until bowl games.
It's going to be an
How
interesting
many
race for sure.
touchdowns for Stetson Bennett to throw to make it the Heisman?
More than he can.
If he goes out and throws a 20 touchdown game,
He might have a chance.
Yeah.
Honorable Heisman mention to Bailey Zapp, as I mentioned before, because he might break Joe Burrow's record just because he deserves it. He's not going to get invite, but he deserves it.
he's what you said, Western Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
CUSA Conference Championship game, light it up.
The conference that's completely disbanding. It's like a French Revolution. I was just like, fuck it.
Where are they going?
Sunbelt or
Oh, yeah.
I remember there was
like
rumors that
5 or 6 of them, like randomly, just like we're out.
Well, the American 2 is going to lose a couple to Big 12, so.
I think that's where some of the CUSA teams are going to.
Yeah. UTSA probably.
yeah, if UTSA goes to the Big 12.
Not the Big 12 to the American.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, to replace Cincinnati and Houston.
it wouldn't be that bad. I thought if they went to the Big 12, they would have been.
That would have been funny. Not for them, but for everybody else.
That easy win.
Kansas finally has somebody worse than them. That's not Texas.
All right. Do you want to move on to upset picks now?
Wait, you know what actually we did not do yet?
What
What
did we do?
are top 5?
I wasn't really going to this week. I was going to save it for next week. It'll
I think it'd
probably be cut and dry next week. It's going to be pretty set.
I think it'd be interesting to see who y'all have in the playoff.
All right.
Yeah. Are we doing top 5 right now or predicted top 5 after this weekend?
No, top 5 right now. I think it's a 5-person race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did
Yeah.
our predictions for the games, which kind of would kind of
That-
set up our ratings for
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah. You want to do top 5 or top 6?
Let's do
5.
actually, because what there's
6 because Notre Dame's in there.
yeah. I know
Well,
Joey, you don't like it, but
all
Yeah,
our number 6s
there's-
are probably Notre Dame.
Fortunately, there's no other one-loss teams below them. So
I think
you
all
just-
of our number 6s are Notre Dame.
yeah,
Nope.
What?
No.
Yep.
It's not.
Notre Dame is not number 6 to read, even though he is for everybody else.
Not for me.
what's your number
Uh-uh.
6? What's your number
The
6?
agenda holds firm.
Who does?
He said the agenda. He hasn't said
Oh.
who.
Yeah,
who's
you
your number
said the
6 then?
agenda holds form.
Ohio State.
Okay.
I got Baylor at 6.
That's,
You're not real.
I'm not surprised.
You're not real.
I'm not
That's so
surprised at
funny.
all.
Oh, that's funny.
The
Anybody,
only reason I would want Notre Dame to win a national championship just to see Joey get so pissed.
anybody but Notre Dame. That's who I got at 6.
How,
Houston, put them
oh,
there. Clemson, 6. NC State, 6. No, put Syracuse at 6. Do it. Duke, put them at 6. Just not Notre Dame.
all right, who are number 5s?
Cincinnati.
Oklahoma State.
The Pokes, Spencer Sanders and his men,
Yeah.
Mike Gundy and the former mullet.
yeah. I have Oklahoma State still at 5 for now.
Yeah.
All right, listen to
Hey,
this.
Cincinnati, but
Check it. I know Reed said Cincinnati. That's not surprising. My number 5 is Alabama.
Oh.
I was thinking to put them there, but I was like,
I don't even blame you.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
I get
That's
it's
fair.
the Iron Bowl and it's anything goes, but
yeah.
in comparison to performances of other teams, I think they just had to drop out.
I don't blame you. I'm not against it.
Question
But-
based on what you said last week once you finish your statement.
What?
Finish your statement, then I have a question to ask you.
Oh, I think that obviously a win would obviously keep them in, but in terms of like a loss, they're out too. So I think that's also another reason I took them out.
Yeah.
So now my question is, last week when me and Joey put Cincinnati above Alabama, you said you should rank them based off of who you think would win. So now are you saying that Cincinnati would beat Alabama right now if they played?
No,
He said
actually,
his top 4 was like
actually,
that.
okay, here's what I actually said, just so you can actually figure this out for yourself. I said you cannot rank 1 through 4 how you rank 5 through 10.
He's
So
right.
your 5 through 10 should be ranked, and you should rank your 1 on 4 based on who you think would win the national championship in the playoff.
Yeah.
That is what he said.
Exactly what he said.
So I think Alabama would not make the playoff right now, or should not make the playoff right now based on results. But
Levi knows because unlike Paul, he watched the podcast.
well, I just remember saying that anyways.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't think that they obviously if Alabama had beaten Auburn, they would not have dropped out. Or they beat them, but if they had
If they'd
beat them
handled them.
how they're supposed to, they wouldn't have dropped out.
Yeah. Because it's Auburn.
Yeah. This was also Auburn's year to win the Iron Bowl, though. We won it last year.
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Does
Sorry,
Auburn win
stop that.
the quarterback?
What?
Would Auburn would have won that game with Bo Nix as their quarterback?
No, they would have got blown out.
Bo
Worst
Picks.
QB they have.
I'm not sure what the answer was. Y'all are all talking.
I'm sure what the answer was.
Would have gotten blown.
Oh, they would have got blown out, and then you guys all started talking over each other.
I didn't hear what Reed said at all.
I said no because Bo Nix is literally the worst quarterback on their team.
Oh, I thought you were about to say one of the worst quarterbacks, and I was about to go into an Adrian Martinez.
I knew that was about to say.
You talking about the legend Adrian Martinez?
2 a.m.
2 a.m. baby.
Remember, Reed said he was going to be the greatest QB in Nebraska history once he left.
Yeah.
Hey, he got pretty close record-wise.
He said he was the best quarterback in the Big Ten coming into 2020.
Well, that's true. He was a dark horse Heisman candidate, just like Bo Nix. Man, people forget. People really forget.
So who are y'all's
Wasn't
number
that
4?
2019 that I said that? Going into 2019 because Dwayne
You said it
Haskins left.
Dwayne Haskins left.
Isn't it 20?
Yeah. So for 4 right now, I have Cincinnati.
Yes.
If Oklahoma wins, they jump them.
I have
Regardless.
Alabama.
Cam said Alabama, right?
Yeah.
I have Cincinnati.
Yes. So we all
we
have
on
Cincinnati.
4?
Yes.
I have Oklahoma State at 4.
Who's your 5?
Cincinnati.
Okay, all right. I was just making sure. That's what I thought. Just making sure.
He was about to check you. Jeez.
he was audibly pissed for a second.
He's like, yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I thought you better put Cincinnati on. Yeah. You kept it, man.
All right, number 3s.
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
Oklahoma State.
Dang.
Nice.
I got him at 3.
Cam, did you say you have Cincinnati at 3?
Yeah, I had him at 3 last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Michigan at 3.
you think Cincinnati would beat Alabama based on Levi's logic?
I don't know, man. I'm a neutral field. It's close. I mean, Cincinnati definitely has a chance.
They don't.
I mean, if Auburn could bully them around, Cincinnati could definitely beat Auburn. So
That's a rivalry game. That doesn't matter.
okay. I'm still taking Cincinnati over Auburn any day this season.
Number 2s.
Michigan.
Fortunately.
I think our 1 and 2 are probably going to be Michigan and Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just thought it would be interesting to see 3 through 5 was just because it could honestly go any way.
Yeah.
Well,
I have Alabama.
What?
Yeah. I just said I had Michigan at 3.
Fuck you.
Using your ranking system.
This is the gayest agenda chat I've ever been in.
It's literally using the ranking system you just talked about.
We have Joey and Reed who just cannot accept that Notre Dame is top 6.
They're not.
And then Kraigen who just ranks Bama wherever he wants to rank them.
As the Bama fan in the chat.
Using your system for ranking the top 4. They would
Okay,
be
Michigan.
and
Never mind, I'm not going to go into this.
Georgia's
No.
awesome. Probably a loss.
It's the gayest agenda chat.
All right, fuck it. Alabama, they're 5. I'm putting Oklahoma State at 2.
All right, you know what?
Levi.
Virginia Tech's number 4 at this point.
No, fuck it. Alabama's 6. Notre Dame is 5.
NC State is number 3.
What?
NC State 3,
I'm just
Virginia
gonna put
Tech
Nebraska
4.
at 1.
That's the new
That's
ACC
3 and
championship
19
game.
all
I'm
time.
declaring it right now.
Yeah, Notre Dame at 5 over Alabama. Because Cincinnati's undefeated, Texas A&M isn't.
I'm gonna put Notre Dame.
Notre Dame has a high quality loss right now.
What's Alabama's loss? Fucking Texas A&M.
Yeah, low quality loss. Get him out of there.
Unranked Texas A&M.
Or
They're
losing to number 4 Cincinnati. Which one's a better loss? Put him number 1. Tennessee lost to Georgia by a lot. Put him number 1.
Number 1, Clemson, because they have the most quality loss. Lost by 7 to Georgia. Booking it right now.
True. You got it.
And they lost to NC State. That's 2 quality losses.
Yes.
That's 2 ranked losses. You can't get much better than that.
Pittsburgh. 3 quality losses.
What does Georgia have for quality loss?
They don't.
Yeah, exactly. Get them out of there. Not a single quality loss.
Unranked Cincinnati and Georgia. They have no quality losses. Unrank them.
Unrank them right now. Get him out of there.
We should just look at quality losses, and I think in that point, my number 4 is now New Mexico State. They have
Tennessee's
so many
a solid
quality
number
losses.
2.
Quality losses. Georgia Tech number 2. They've lost to Notre Dame and Georgia by a combined score of 100-0. Put them up at number 2 after Georgia. I mean Clemson.
Not only quality losses, quality touchdowns.
Oh, what is a quality touchdown?
What is that? 15 quality touchdowns?
What? What is this agenda? What are you going
15
for?
safeties worth of points in 2 weeks. Congratulations, Georgia Tech.
I'm not good at math. I'm not sure it's 15.
It's 14 and a safety.
14 quality touchdowns.
Goated.
And so 1 Georgia for everybody.
Yeah.
So, what are all of our agendas? Joey's is that Notre Dame sucks.
They do.
AME is that Bama is better than everyone except Georgia.
I'll double down on it.
Which is true.
Mine is that Cincinnati should be ranked above Bama right now.
Which is
Levi's.
That's bullshit.
Levi's. What's yours again?
Dude, I don't care what happens as long as Oklahoma State wins it all.
It is Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Mine's a
Reed's.
positive one. Y'all are just fucking haters.
How is mine a hating one?
Because you're specifically trying to bring down one team. You're a hater.
How am I a hater? I'm just being
Joey's,
honest.
that's Joey specifically.
Cam, yours is it's about Bama specifically.
If you can pull up one tweet right now from my account saying that I hate Notre Dame or anything negative, then I'm fine.
They have a better resume. They didn't struggle last week. I'm sorry. Jeez, I'm sorry. Cincinnati didn't need to go to 4 times to be the back quarterback who was on one leg in the second half.
I wake up in the morning extra early just to be positive about Oklahoma State.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Levi, if Oklahoma State wins the national championship, Levi has to grow out a mullet. That's just simple. That's it.
Dude, no question. There's absolutely zero question.
He'd do it easily, dude.
I will get the Mike Gundy mullet if they win the national championship. I will get a fucking tattoo of the Oklahoma State logo if they win the fucking national championship.
Okay, that's a little far.
All right, y'all heard it here first.
I'm being absolutely serious. I might just inherit them as my second team. For no other reason. I don't even know what the reason is specifically about them. I'm just doing it.
Just to do it.
Dude, honestly, I've loved Oklahoma State.
On Levi's proclamation that I put on him that he would do and a mullet if Oklahoma State wins it all.
Dude, I'll remember it. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does sound awesome, actually.
Dude, I've loved Oklahoma State ever since Mike Gundy had that infamous rant where he's like, "I'm a man. I'm 40."
Yeah, come after me.
Dude, that I think he just has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, he 100% deserves to make the playoffs.
Dude, oh my god, if Mike Gundy was the NC State coach, I'd fucking lose my mind. So much cum.
So, all right. On that note, I don't think there's anything left of this podcast.
Yeah, it's finished. Just
Yep.
like
Yep.
Just
all
like
right.
me.
All right. That's it.
I'm finishing.